When someone thinks about Disney, they think about how cute or funny their characters are, how great their movies are. Basically, they think about how they made their childhood. But what if I told you that behind that smiling, kid-friendly mouse lies a greedy and powerful and discriminative rat whose wrath is something that you should not mess with? Disney has recently destroyed their competition. They have canceled projects out of discrimination and have a double standard for the use and copyright of their IPs. Most companies, when they're competing, would try to sell the best product possible. But when you're as big as Disney, all you have to do is just buy out the competition and then later on shut them down. That was something they've recently done with an animation studio known as Blue Sky Studios, who are best known for Spies in Disguise, Rio, the Ice Age movie, and the Peanuts movie, and Robots, which honestly is personal favorite of mine. Although not all their movies were successful, some of them were didn't win as much as other movies in the box office, but one series of movies was their main cash cow, which was Ice Age, which was something that Disney was eyeing for a very long time. So then Disney decided to buy 20th Century Fox, which also included Blue Sky Animation Studios, which doesn't sound that bad. I mean, it's business stuff. You buy things, you do whatever you can to earn as much money as possible. But that's not the reason why what they did was horrible. According to an article by Anthony de Alessandro, sorry if I butcher your name, due to the economic issues from the pandemic, Disney had to shut down Blue Sky Studios, which left 450 people in the studio without employment. So instead of keeping Blue Sky Studios alive, Disney decided to give them the axe because, quote unquote, they were having financial problems with COVID. After Blue Sky Studios was shut down, all the characters that the studio made would now move to the family of Disney. And what's worse is that Disney will now refuse to pay the creators any royalties, which meaning they won't pay them for the use of their characters. And to pour more salt in the wound, Disney would later brag on their Twitter account about having the full rights of the characters with them. They tweeted, "The coolest cast in prehistory," followed by pictures of the main cast of the Ice Age. But the evil deeds of this greedy mouse does not stop here. Not only does Disney destroy studios that get in the way of their money, but they also cancel projects that don't go with their brand, or in other words, do it out of discrimination. Before Blue Sky Studios was shut down, they were working on an animated movie that would be Disney's first animated movie that had an LGBTQ plus representation of main characters. According to an article by Jeff Snyder, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, but in the article it states that according to BuzzFeed News, the decision left Blue Sky's animated movie Nimona in limbo, something that was particularly dispiriting, which means like disencouraging, as the film was poised to become Disney's first-length animated movie to showcase queer lead characters as well as a same-sex kiss. Many people would argue, well, it's not really that bad. It was just one time. It could have not been good in the box office. Maybe they weren't getting enough money, which is bullshit, obviously. I mean, there could be other reasons to why they canceled the movie, but that wouldn't be the only time they canceled a project that contained an LGBTQ plus character. One example of this, and is an example that really makes me so pissed off because I really like this show, is of the 2017 animated reboot of DuckTales, where in one of the episodes in season 3, a character named Penumbra hints at the fact that she is only attracted to females. The statement would be later confirmed by one of the show's directors slash storyboard artists, Sam King, in a tweet saying, "But yes, since Penny calls everything on Earth Earth, her saying Earth male is specifically saying men. She is a lesbian." The show was coincidentally cancelled in the same season where the character came out as being a lesbian. Though the real reason of why the show was cancelled still isn't confirmed. No one has said anything about it. But it's pretty obvious why it was cancelled. Not enough evidence to convince you? Then let me introduce you to Disney's latest victim of project abuse, with a show named The Owl House, which is another show that I really like, and it pisses me off that they cut it short. It follows the story of Luz Nocera, a girl transported to a world of witches and demons known as the Boiling Isles, and her journey to become the best witch in the Boiling Isle. Along the way, she meets a female student who also is working to become a powerful witch, and then they both develop romantic feelings for each other. They eventually become a romantic couple in season 2, where they finally confess their feelings for each other. The show's season 3 was then cut short due to, as the creator of the show, Dana Terrence, states in a Reddit post, "At the end of the day, there are a few people who oversee what fits in the Disney brand, and one of those guys decided that the Owl House didn't fit that brand." So earlier in the post, she did say that she wasn't going to assume bad faith against anyone she worked with. It was clear, with Disney's mistreatment of projects that include LGBTQ+ characters, that the rat is not just greedy, but also discriminative. When it comes to copyright, Disney has a double standard to it. It's okay if Disney copies other people, but God forbid that anyone uses any of their IPs for anything. Many people think that Disney created the stories of Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, and Mulan. They make you think that they created them, but in reality, the stories like Cinderella and Mulan are historical events told in the past. Cinderella, according to an article by Kelsey McKinney, comes from a collection of Italian short stories from the 17th century and was actually named Cenerentola. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. The story of Alice in Wonderland is actually from a book I read in my senior year of high school, published in 1865, written by Lewis Carroll and illustrated by John Tenniel, a book named Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. One can argue that these properties are public domain. Anyone can use those properties, which is true. There have been other interpretations of Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland. But what if I told you that Disney copied from a Japanese anime to make their quote-unquote original film, The Lion King? The Japanese anime Kimba the White Lion, or also known as Jungle Emperor, is about a white young lion named Kimba, same thing as Simba, who was separated from his parents after they were captured by hunters, in his journey to claim his rightful place as leader of the jungle. And this show aired in 1965, way before Lion King was released, which was in 1994. Not just a story that Disney ripped off, but also some of the shots, scenes, designs, and even concept art from the anime. A YouTuber named Alley Cat posted a video comparing the two, their scenes, designs, and concept art, showing how much Disney copied from the source material. I'll leave the link in the description, and a link up at the card up here on the top right screen. While Disney can copy whoever they want and get away with it, they will not tolerate if you use their IPs for anything. In fact, they sued many companies and people for the use of Disney's IP. One example of this is when an elementary school gets fined by Disney for playing the movie The Lion King remake for a fundraiser for the school. Disney, a $1 million company, fines the elementary school for $250 for putting the movie in the fundraiser. An article by Heidi Lux, again I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, says over 2 months after the fundraiser, they received a notice from Email Licensing USA, a firm representing Disney, claiming that they had an illegal screening of the film and had to pay a fine of $250. The school has no idea how the screening got flagged or why. One of the dads who bought the movie at Best Buy, PTA President David Rose, told CNN he owned it. We literally had no idea we were breaking any rules. But that's not as bad as what I'm about to state next. Lloyd Jones, who lived in London, had a son who loved SpiderMan, but sadly died way too young at the age of 4. According to an article by Michael Hetchman, Lloyd wanted to decorate his son's grave with decorations of Spider-Man, but was denied doing so by Disney, who stated that we follow a policy that began with Walt Disney himself that does not permit the use of characters on headstones, cemetery, or memorial markers for funeral urns. How is theming a gravestone after Spider-Man going to hurt the brand? Disney's so worried about losing advertisement money that they denied a grieving father to honor his deceased son with Spider-Man themed decorations. These actions show Disney's double standards when it comes to the use of IPs. When it comes to evil companies, no company can come close to as evil as Disney. They don't care about you or about their own moral standards. When they see the chance of profit, they take it. Or if they see you are in the way of their profit, then they will do whatever it takes to get you out of the way, no matter how immoral it is. This just shows how corrupt a company can be with the amount of money Disney has. I honestly hope that one day Disney will finally go bankrupt to atone for their greedy actions and destroy the discrimination in the stories of their films.